Last week I introduced you to a new program called Sketchup, and what we were doing is we were sketching up our tiny house. Let me just review a little bit with you today. First, you might want to open up your tiny house from last week. You'll do that by going to File and Open. You should have saved in the Documents folder, so you can scroll down and look for your name for tiny house. Click it to open it up. Now each class got a little bit different, a little bit further along. So depending on where your class left off, you might have a shape that looks like this. What we want to do today is we want to put on our finishing touches. We can paint it, we can add roofing, we can add windows and doors, and do a little bit more with our tiny house. But for right now, I'm just going to start all over again. So if you can't find yours, don't worry about it. You can work right now with me. I'm going to go to File and New. First thing that you want to do is you want to get rid of the gentleman that's here. We're going to right click on him and hit Erase. Last week we started with a rectangle tool and we did the shape of a tiny house. From the origin, we were able to pull out and across, and at the bottom corner you can see my dimensions. The dimensions should have been around 16 by 8. So if you can get it close enough, 16 by 8, you have a rectangle. With that rectangle, we want to use the push-pull and pull our rectangle up at least 9 feet. And again, looking at the dimensions. Now we can orbit around our shape by using the Orbit tool. Clicking and holding on our screen, we can rotate it around. We can look at the bottom or the top. I want to now make a roof for my box, so I'm going to use my pencil. I'm going to go to the back edge to find the middle. I'm going to click and hold on the midpoint and draw up to find the midpoint in the front. Once I find both midpoints, I will let go with my mouse. I'm going to go to the Move tool, which kind of looks like a compass rose. I'm going to click it. I'll click and hold on that blue line, drag it straight up to make the peak of my roof. I can zoom in and out using the magnifying glass or using 2 fingers on the mouse pad. I can move over using the hand, or I can orbit around. The next thing I want to do is I want to take a look at the bottom of my house. I showed you the Offset tool. If I click the Offset tool in the corner of my screen, I can offset that same shape. I want to make it really tiny. And I'm going to use the push-pull to push all the way up, just this area, all the way up to the top. So it looks now like I have a roof for my tiny house. The next thing I want to do is I want to use the Offset tool again on the bottom and offset a little bit bigger this time. This time it's going to make it look so that my tiny house is going to be on a cement pad. Very carefully now, I can zoom in to this area, use the push-pull, and pull not that area, but this area up. So now I can rotate around my shape again. Looks more like a house. With this, I can pull out to make a little porch area or a stoop. What I want to do now is I will make the doors. So I'm going to use the Shapes tool, making sure that I'm on the edge. Click and hold and drag. Look at the dimensions. You can see my door is 2 foot by 6 foot. I'll make it 3 by 6. I want to also put a window next to the door. Using the Offset tool again, I can offset each one of those, making sure that you get out for far enough. I can undo anytime that I mess up. Make sure that you go to the corner so you can offset higher, making a window frame for each. And again, same thing here, edit and undo. Make sure you start your offset in the corner. Now I have these frames. What I can do is I can pull those out using the push-pull. I might want to rotate around. Pull those out no more than an inch or so. So now it looks like I have the door frames around. I can put in any other windows that I want around my house. Again, offsetting those windows, the offset button. pulling out using the push-pull to make a frame. What we can do is we can orbit around our shape, more and more like a house. To make it more looking like a house, I can go to Window and pull down on the materials. There are a lot of different materials that I can use here. One of the materials might be tile, or one of the materials might be wood. One of the materials that I want to go to right now is going to be the roofing. There are different tiles that I can use for the roofing. There's a metal roof, shingles. If I click on them, look like I have a paint bucket. I can just click on that paint bucket and click the areas that I want to paint. I can always rotate around to do the other sides, making sure that I paint all the sides of my house for the roof. Let's rotate back around in the front again. I can either hit the back arrow or pull down on the down arrow, and I can go all the different types of categories here. If I wanted to make sure those windows maybe are windows, I can go to translucent. I can pick on the glass, make those glass. This is pretty cool because now you can use the rotate tool. You can actually look inside of your house because it is glass. Put one over here. Hitting the back arrow, or again, pulling down. A lot of different things that I can use here. If I wanted my house to be brick, I could go and choose brick. If I wanted my house to have white shingles, I can make it have siding as well. Remember, you want to go all the way around. Looking more and more like a house. You can add a lot more things here with the materials. Metal, roofing, there's stone that you can choose from as well. Wood and water at the end. So if I wanted to make my frames around my window look like wooden frames, I can do that as well. The hot point for the paint bucket is the tip of it, so I can rotate it around, making sure that I use the paint bucket right on the tip of that. If you ever mess up, you can always go to Edit and Undo. It'll take it away. What you're going to do is you're going to work on your tiny house today, finish it up. Hopefully this video will help ease some frustration that you might have had last week. What you want to do is you want to open up Sketchup, go to File and Open up your tiny house in the Documents folder. If you cannot find it, you may go to New, File and New, and just start over. I'll be around to answer any questions. Hopefully this video will help. Talk to you soon.